Hello again, it's Simon. Tonight we venture deeper into the unknown. A moment of risk, courage, and revelations that could change everything. Before we begin, take a moment to let go of the day. Feel the surface beneath you, steady and grounding. Let your hands rest softly, your shoulders relax. Take a deep breath in and out, releasing all the tension. In and out. In and out. In and out. Now, let's return to the story. The cold night air wrapped around Simon like a heavy cloak as he crouched behind a stack of crates. The convoy was just up ahead, its dim headlights casting long shadows on the dirt road. Elise knelt beside him, her breath steady but her eyes sharp. Matthias was a few meters away, signaling to the others. "We hit them fast and hard," Matthias whispered, his voice barely audible over the rustling wind. "Simon, you and Elise take the truck. We'll handle the guards." Simon nodded, his heart pounding in his chest. He could see the faint glow of the ChronoCore through the canvas covering the truck bed. "You ready for this?" Elise asked softly, her gaze meeting his. Simon swallowed hard, nodding. "As ready as I'll ever be." Matthias signaled, and the group sprang into action. A loud bang echoed through the night as one of the resistance fighters set off a small explosion, drawing the guards' attention. Simon and Elise darted toward the truck, their footsteps silent against the dirt. The guards shouted orders, their voices chaotic as they scrambled to respond to the ambush. Elise climbed into the truck's cab, hot-wiring the ignition with practiced ease. The engine roared to life, and Simon leapt into the passenger seat, just as a soldier turned, shouting in German. "Go!" Simon yelled, and Elise slammed her foot on the gas. The truck barreled down the road, its wheels kicking up dust as the convoy faded into the distance. Simon glanced back, his heart still racing. "Do you think they'll follow us?" he asked, his voice tight. Elise shook her head. "Not for long. Matthias and the others will keep them busy. We just need to get this thing somewhere safe." Simon turned his attention to the ChronoCore, its faint glow pulsing rhythmically under the canvas. "It's like it's alive," he murmured, reaching out to lift the edge of the covering. Elise shot him a warning look. "Be careful. We don't know what it's capable of." They drove for what felt like hours, the dark forest closing in around them. The sound of the engine was the only thing breaking the silence. Eventually, Elise pulled the truck to a stop near an abandoned barn. They climbed out, the cold air biting at their skin as they worked to unload the ChronoCore. The device was heavier than it looked, its surface cold and smooth under Simon's hands. "Let's get it inside," Elise said. Her voice strained as they carried it toward the barn. Inside, the barn was dark and musty, the air thick with the scent of hay and earth. Elise lit a lantern, casting a soft glow over the space. Simon stared at the ChronoCore, its patterns shifting and glowing faintly. "What now?" he asked. Elise sighed, crossing her arms. "We wait for Matthias, and then we figure out how to destroy it." Simon hesitated. "What if we don't destroy it? What if we use it?" Elise's gaze snapped to his, her expression a mix of concern and frustration. "You don't even know what it does. You're talking about risking everything." Simon knelt beside the device, his fingers brushing against its surface. A faint hum filled the air, and he felt a strange pull, like the ChronoCore was calling to him. "I think it's connected to me," he said softly. "Getting me home." Elise crouched beside him, her voice low. "And what if using it tears everything apart? The past, the future, even the present." Simon's chest tightened as he stared at the glowing patterns. The weight of his choices pressed down on him. And for the first time, he wondered if there was a way to fix anything without breaking everything else. For now, we'll pause here. This is the end of episode 2, but the journey is far from over. Imagine the cold air in the barn, the faint hum of the ChronoCore, and the unanswered questions lingering in Simon's mind. Breathe deeply. Let the calm settle over you. In and out. In and out. In and out. We'll return soon to follow Simon deeper into this fragile timeline. Where every choice carries the weight of the world. Good night.